After you've done your property inspection, if you find out that there are some serious things wrong with the house, keep in mind that you have a lot of options. I spent some time on the phone with a buyer this week, and he was terrified. The house had very poor access underneath. There was no access in the attic. It had a broken spire. It had some pretty significant things wrong with it, but we knew what the seller had paid. We knew what the seller owed on their loan, and there wasn't a lot of wiggle room there for the seller. Unfortunately, we were gonna have to get in a situation where the seller was going to bring money to the table just to close it out. My buyer was freaking out. What about all these problems? What do I do if this? What if that? How much does this cost? It's impossible to answer all of those questions. I don't know how much it costs us to fix one rafter in the attic. I don't know, okay? We could get a contractor in there, but what I said to the buyer was true. I said, what is your number? This house is a problem for the seller. He's sick of it. He knows everything is broken and he wants out. The seller had already invested thousands and thousands into this property. So for my buyer to take it off of his hands, all I needed to know from him is, what's your number? What's it worth to you to take this off of this guy's hands? And I wanted the buyer to also understand that the issues that he's experiencing, they're not gonna change. So when he sells the house later, he also needs to keep in mind, okay, we have poor access foundation. We have very limited access in the attic. As long as he goes into that knowing that, he's fine. And I said, if you get it for a killer discount today, you cash flow off of it for years, and then you sell it later at a discount because of the issues that you're experiencing, you're okay. So I worked with him. We figured out a number that was much lower than what he had it under contract. And he was able to say to that seller, I will only buy this house for this amount. And if you won't agree, I'm walking away. He was in his due diligence period. He has every right to do that. So when you're looking at a tough property with a lot of problems, you need to decide what's your number and stick to it. If you can't get to an agreement with the seller, I really encourage you to walk away. At the end of the day, investment real estate, you are there to make money. And if you can't, let us find you something else.
Cashflow, Savannah, where the dreamers dwell. Get your hustle on.